From eTown Hall in the foothills of the Rocky Mountains, it's eTown with this week's guests. Originally from Taos, New Mexico, and now living in Los Angeles, California, Max Gomez. And originally from South Carolina, now living in Colorado, Trevor Hall. I'm Helen Forster. Please join me now in welcoming Nick Forster.
Thank you, Ellen. Thanks, everybody. Welcome to eTown Hall. This is a big day, eTown's anniversary. Exactly 34 years since we did our first show over at the Boulder Theater. That first one was a little weak, as first attempts often are, but the music was solid and the intention was clear. We wanted to bring people together around some soulful music and talk about the environment, talk about climate, talk about ways in which we could make things better. And it was definitely some real hippie stuff. And we're sticking to it. I know that thank you. Bunch of hippies in Boulder, who knew? I think the show early on was not particularly well received. People were a little confused about, is it a music show or whatever, but we kept going, and we were not wrong. We were no competition for greed in politics, as it turns out. I interviewed a whole bunch of policymakers and scientists and top climate people, and since our first eTown show, I think atmospheric gases have gone up by about 60% since we started. So that's not so great, but that doesn't mean we aren't going to keep going and keep trying to do good stuff, bring people together, try to make things a little better. So thanks for being here. Thanks for being a part of the show. I will say that in comparatively anxious times, you'll be happy to know that we have two gentle, nature-loving singer-songwriters with us this week. Max Gomez is here. He's originally from Taos, New Mexico. He's just a great guy, loves the outdoors, loves writing good songs, tells good stories. And, of course, our first guest grew up in Hilton Head Island, South Carolina originally. Then he moved to California. He spent a lot of time in India. He's now living here in Colorado. He was, as a young person, he was a surfer. He was inspired by Jack Johnson and Ben Harper and people like that. But he has really created his own musical scene. He's usually playing substantially larger venues, like Red Rocks. And we're especially happy to have him with us this week. Please welcome to eTown for his first visit, Trevor Hall.
Thanks so much for having us. I've heard about eTown. A lot of my peers and inspirations have come through here, and I've heard about it for a while, and I'm just, honored to be here. And it's my brother Jeff Martin over here on all this stuff over here. Just moved to Colorado from Ohio, so I'm happy to have him with us. And we have been off the road for a while now, and this got us together and got me out of the house, so we'll see how this goes. But thank you so much.
Let my gardens speak for me when I am gone. When I am gone. Let my gardens speak for me when I am gone. Let them speak in colored whispers of all the beauty I have seen and felt and lived. Let them speak of how much death had defined me, how many hard seasons it took to make me a living, breathing thing.
backyard. I lit the smoke before the song. I'm not so worried about the after. I've been outside myself for way too long. I told my lady I've been moving. I got a different frame of mind. What does it take to get it blooming? I put a prayer upon the great blue sky. All of my lessons, they come in the form of a sound. I am a bird that is waiting for them to come down.
Let them speak of my seasons of growth and abundance, but let them also tell of my seasons of loss and decay. Let the soft, wet earth be a reminder of hardness that didn't win, of sadness that didn't calcify, of surrender that triumphed over resistance.
Yeah, I watched it move upon the water. The song, it brings me into now. Some things I thought I would remember. It's like my older ways have all burned down. This is the journey I've been taking, of how I enter different rooms. Oh yeah, whatever way you wanna get there, I hope you find the time to get there soon. All of my lessons, they come in the form of a sound. I am a bird that is waiting for them to come down. All of my lessons, they come in the form of a sound. I am a bird that is waiting for them to come down.
And let the glorious, fragrant blooms speak of my life and its greatest lesson, that the beauty we make never dies. Come sit by my garden. Come sit by my garden.
Thank you so much. I was like shaking during that whole thing. It was like so quiet and intense in here. Like, don't mess up, dude. Relax. This is what you do. This is what you do. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right.
You got this, Trevor.
Thank you. I got this. I got this.
sing a rhyme so lovely. Watch it come down from the clouds above me. Thinking about ways I could say it's only for you. My love, it has a form that's formless, wrapped in the sky. Who would not adore this? Watch it come forth, let it sing in orbit round you. Yeah, 'cause I've been losing sleep about you, but I ain't losing you. I've been losing sleep about you, but I ain't losing you. Oh no, no. And tell me how you walk your dome. Let me love good, let me spin your calm. What can I say? I play it only for you. Yeah, I wonder where your love will lead me. All I know now is that it won't deceive me. I don't really care if they don't believe me, it's true. 'Cause I've been losing sleep about you, but I ain't losing you. I've been losing sleep about you, but I ain't losing you. Thank you.
Welcome
Thank
to
you
eTown.
so much.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you.
cool. Glad this worked
Thank
out. And your songs are such cool. They're compositions. They're little sonic landscapes that obviously you spend a lot of time working on and thinking about and creating. It's different from what we're used to, I think, just because there's a lot of intention behind it, and you bring a lot of those sounds and pieces and parts. Was it your wife's poetry that was part of that first song?
Yeah, so we did actually, my wife's a writer. She's a
Yeah.
poet. She came out with a book, and we actually did a little record together where we took about 8 of her poems, and she read them, and I put music to them, and we released this record, and it was super awesome. It was like one of my favorite things I've done.
Oh, that's cool.
But I took, one of her poems and kind of just, put it over the beginning of that.
It's nice to have a little garden image.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
And of course, you've got a couple little kids, so being able to record and create those landscapes with your wife at home is ideal.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
We've been blessed, with a beautiful space and being able to be home. And I never thought in a million years, I'd have my own little studio and kids running in and out. But it's just such a blessing, and it's a blessing, I think, these days to, it's easier to kind of create your own space musically and creatively. We don't need, I don't know, you can do it yourself. It's a lot more DIY, and I think that's important for just everyone, our kids. And
So those of us who are used to actually being in bands and playing with other musicians in real time, we should shift away from that and...
yes, that's
Yeah.
exactly what I was saying. Exactly. No, I actually need all this stuff to make me sound as good as just with you and your guitar. So.
Well, thank you. I always am curious just about the journey.
Yeah.
And yours is interesting because I know that in Hilton Head Island, you're growing up and your dad was a drummer, or is a drummer,
Yeah.
in local bands.
Yeah.
And so you were around the demystification of music making.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's like pictures of me in like diapers just on the drums, and
Diapers
then-
on the drums is not an image anybody wants right now. No.
That's the name of my next record.
Yeah.
Diapers on the drums. But no, it was amazing, and to like be a dad now and see my own kiddos like
Yeah.
jamming on the drums and stuff,
Yeah.
kind of gives me a little bit more insight into what his perspective. So it was really special.
Well,
but-
you made your first record when you were 16. like,
yeah,
original
that was my
song.
dad's like birthday present to
Yeah.
me. Like took me to his friend's studio in South Carolina and just made a record. And I hope nobody ever hears that.
Yeah.
I hope it goes away.
Yeah.
Far away.
It's more than a cutout at this point. Yeah. But I do think it speaks to the fact that you were on a path, you were on a journey. You found your way to this really creative boarding school in California.
Yeah.
And were around a lot of child prodigies, people who were really
Yeah.
incredibly talented and gifted in their instruments, and that must have been put some pressure on in a way.
Yeah, I mean, I think more than pressure, it was actually a wave of inspiration because coming from my small town in South Carolina, I went to a prep school. It was very strict and very kind of, by the book. There wasn't a lot of room for creative just expression in general. That when I went to this school that was just surrounded by all these kids my age, like you said, prodigies, just like, wow, this is something that I can really sink my teeth into, and this journey seems like an endless, beautiful journey, and I want to like take this more seriously. So that was a big turning point, I guess, for me going to that school.
It's one of the most beautiful things about learning music and being curious about how things are created and your own relationship with your instrument is just that it never ends. You never get there. It's always about learning and discovering and opening up new doors. And I will say that unlike most high school seniors, you came out of high school into a bidding war between Columbia Records and Geffen Records, fighting to see who was going to get to sign you to a major label record contract.
Yeah.
That's not typical for an 18-year-old kid.
It's not. And I look back on that kid with like a lot of compassion, because coming from a small town, you hear like the horrors of the record industry, and you're like, that can't be true. And then like it happens to you and you're just like, wow, it's true, and it was really hard being that young,
Yeah. Did you have
kind
a little team? Did you have like an agent and a manager and a girlfriend? And
I had no girlfriend. No, I didn't really have a lot of, friends at that point because I had moved to LA and my only friends were my manager. Yeah. Now that I think of it, my dad's friend, who was my manager. And I'm glad I kind of got it out of the way young. And it kind of gave me a lot of focus on what's important and to no matter what, no matter, if you have these big industries controlling you or this and that, your art is yours. And it gave me that kind of fire to not let anybody control it to that extent ever again.
yeah. Well, yeah, that's cool. Well, let's get back to music. Welcome back, Trevor Hall, along with Jeff Martin.
Not on my day. Jata Shankare. Hara Hara Mahadeva Shambhu. Alak Niranjan. down by the riverside. It hits me almost every time. Beauty runs so deep that it's hard to sleep at night. This is the chapter of the forest. Every line and every chorus from my heart, it comes, I pour it to every single melody. Flame without the smoke. On this holy poetry, I swear I'll never choke, because I only speak of Namaday. Harder, harder every day. Lay my love down at her waters, calling on the mountain's daughter. No more books, no more empty words, no more running away from her. I'll now learn from the wind and rain, from the song of the lion's mane. And as it tosses the sun and moon, I sit back and behold that tune. All glory upon her name. We say hada 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 namaday. Hada 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 namaday. Well, the simple one perspires with the face that burns like fire. That's where I lay my body down. And in my dream I heard the lesson of the vault that holds the heavens. So now I gaze upon the crowd. You see my woman, she is stainless. Stood there at the base, touched her face. Saw the gods come out the mountain, sweet embrace. Her song, it can't be heard unless you let go of the world. So I laid it all down and I behold what I heard. No more books, no more empty words, no more running away from her. I'll now learn from the wind and rain, from the song of the lion's mane. And as it tosses the sun and moon, I sit back and behold that tune. All glory upon her name. We say hada 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 namaday. Hada 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 namaday. Hada namaday. Thank you.
That's Trevor Hall, along with Jeff Martin. They will be back to play some more music. The latest CD is called Threads. It's a 4-song EP. Such a great sound, and these guys will be back, as I say, to play some more later in the show.
Your visit to eTown is made possible in part by the Scientific and Cultural Facilities District, or SCFD, one of the largest cultural funding mechanisms in the United States, supporting nearly 300 organizations in the greater Denver, Colorado area. You're listening to eTown.
I am Nick Forster. You are listening to eTown. Trevor Hall is going to be back to play some more music later on. And up next, we've got Max Gomez. He's here, and he's got some new music coming out, too. He'll play some songs in a little while. I mentioned earlier that we've been at this a little while, and that we started on Earth Day, and that the whole point was to try to build some community and try to make some good stuff happen. And during that time that we've been doing eTown all these years, I got to interview so many interesting people, great experts and scientists and authors and policymakers and poets and others. But among them was another guy who had a similar vision to try to bring people together and make things better. And that is, in fact, the guy who started Earth Day, the late Senator Gaylord Nelson. So we thought it would be good to re-listen to my conversation with Senator Gaylord Nelson, just talking about why he was inspired to start Earth Day and how he got it done. We're going to go back in a little time machine now. This interview is something we did on stage 30 years ago. And you get to hear how it happened from the guy who made it happen. Here's my conversation with Senator Gaylord Nelson from 30 years ago. Gaylord Nelson is a former governor and United States Senator from Wisconsin who's known as the father of Earth Day, an event he conceived and organized with the help of Dennis Hayes. But you may not know that as a senator, he introduced legislation to preserve the 2,000-mile Appalachian Trail, to mandate fuel efficiency standards in automobiles, to control strip mining, to ban the use of DDT, to ban the use of phosphates in detergents, to ban the use of Agent Orange. He created the National Environmental Education Act. He co-sponsored the 1964 Wilderness Act. He has been busy. He's been tireless. And his efforts earned him in 1995 the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the highest civilian honor in the land. Would you please welcome to eTown Senator Gaylord Nelson.
Thank you.
That's a pretty good welcome.
Yeah, if I ever run again, I'm going to take this audience with me.
Certainly Earth Day mobilized more people, got press, got attention, got energy shifted towards the issue of the environment, the state of our planet, more than any other event. You must be very proud of that.
Well, the reason I organized Earth Day was I was trying to get the issue onto the national political agenda. And until we got it there, we weren't going to do anything about it. And I finally thought of the idea of getting a national demonstration in behalf of Mother Earth, because I knew from speaking in almost every state, I knew that the public was far ahead of the political establishment. And I figured if I could get a demonstration big enough, it would get the attention of the political establishment. It achieved that. 20 million people, largest demonstration in our history, demonstrated in behalf of Mother Earth on Earth Day, April 22, 1970, and it forced the issue onto the political agenda, and it's been there ever since.
I'm interested, though, at that time, what it was like for you among your colleagues when you brought up these kinds of issues. What kind of response did you get?
Well, you know, he's a kind of a nice guy. Let's hear him out, but don't pay too much attention. There were, when I went to Washington, there were only about 6 people in the Senate who you'd call environmentalists. Now all 100 will, even though because they're responding to the public. But there are a significant number of very able, very distinguished members of the House of Representatives and the Senate.
Do you feel that, generally speaking, there is an awareness, not just of the fact that there is a problem, but of the magnitude of this potential problem?
I speak to a number of grade schools and high schools as well as colleges. Today, the grade school kids at the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade level are better informed, more perceptive, more understanding of the issue than college seniors were in 1970 when I organized Earth Day. Now, when I organized Earth Day, there was And not a single grade school or high school that taught environmental education. Today, thousands of them do. There was no environmental institutes in any university in the United States except the University of Wisconsin in 1970. Now every major university has an environmental department. There was no environmental law being taught in 1970. There were no environmental programs like this one. There's an educational process going on that is changing the attitude of the people of this country. Yeah. And we've got a long way to go, but I think with people like you and the educational aspects of it, that we'll make it. It'll take us another 20, 30 years to achieve the goal, but I think we'll do it.
Well, you have certainly been a huge part of getting this ball rolling, and I very much appreciate your stopping by and visiting us here in eTown. Thanks for being with us, Governor Senator Gaylord Nelson.
Thank you.
So it's cool, we talk about it Earth Day, but now we know where it started, how it happened. There was another guy, Dennis Hayes, who was sort of his deputy who helped make it happen. Anyway, we're glad you guys are here, and I'm really happy to be able to share just a hardworking, smart, and well-intended politician share his views. As I mentioned, Trevor Hall is going to be back, play some more music. Max Gomez grew up in Taos, New Mexico. He's the youngest of 5 brothers. I'm sure that helped him discover a lot of music as he was growing up. He's been living in LA for a while. He, of course, as he was growing up, heard all kinds of singer-songwriters passing through that northern New Mexico corridor, and the idea that a person could write a good song and play it and sing it, and I'm sure that impressed him early on. We'll learn more about it when he's out here. As I mentioned, Max is living in LA now. He's here on his own. He's going to play with the house band. Help me welcome back to eTown, Max Gomez.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Nick. Home away from home. Nick, I don't know if you know this, but like out there in the wild, among the folkies that I run with from time to time, you are a legendary guitar slinger that from time to time shares like a hot lick with one of these folkies, and I've actually learned some of your guitar licks from different people out there.
Oh, man. Oh, man. I'm kind of like bacteria. It's just out there circulating.
There's no vaccine for those hot licks, man. This next song is the best song I've got. Financially speaking. And wrote it with my friend Keith Sykes. Now, Keith is one of the best songwriters I've ever met. And we write all the time, especially ever since we wrote this song. It's like the bar that we keep reaching for, I think. But it's a simple little love song, and it goes like this. I wish you wouldn't cry, I wish you wouldn't go. I wish we'd stay together through the rain and the wind and the snow. Real snow, not the movie kind. The snow that falls and it keeps you on my mind. Miles and miles may come between us, and many faces you will see. But if you love somebody, baby, if you love somebody, baby, make it me. Oh, you remember the time when we very first met? Well, Well, it burns so bright on my mind I can't forget. And I'll never believe you didn't think it too. And that whole time you loved me and I loved you. Miles and miles may come between us, and many faces you will see. Oh, but if you love somebody, baby, if you love somebody, baby, make it me. When you hear a song on the radio and it stays on your mind every little place you go, do you think about us or how it might feel to take another ride around on the spinning wheel? Miles and miles may come between us, and many faces you will see. Oh, but if you love somebody, baby, if you love somebody, baby, make it me. If you love somebody, baby, make it me. If you love somebody, baby, make it me. Thank you.
Max Gomez, welcome back to eTown. Good to hear you play and sing.
Thank you
love
very
your
much.
songs, love your songwriting and your singing. It's so cool.
It's always great to be here.
That
Thank
is, if you love someone, make it me is such a seductive little concept of a song. It's just, who wouldn't just fall in love with you when they hear you sing that song? It's just like, it's just.
Well, I could name a few.
Yeah. You know, I was talking to Trevor about his early days. I might as well talk to you. I mean, you know, growing up in Taos, I didn't remember until recently, I guess, that you're the youngest of 5 boys, which is a lot. Did they help you figure out music and songs and turn you on to stuff when you were coming up?
I had one of the boys, my brother Zach. He's about 7 years older than me, and all my brothers were cool guys, but Zach was kind of like Fonzie, you know. And when he was about 16, he had this really slick sports car, and he had a Gibson Les Paul, gold pickups, black top guitar. And he listened to all the usual things at the time that kids his age were listening to, but also, oddly enough, he really listened to B.B. King all the time. And I got into B.B. King, and I got into that guitar that he had. I wanted to be just like Zach. So
Lucille. You wanted to have Lucille.
Yeah, whenever he set that thing down, I picked it up.
The Gibson Les Paul with the gold pickups, yeah.
Yeah, and pretty soon we were studying together, you know, all the B.B. King live records, and that Eric Clapton B.B. King record came out, and we got into that, and we figured out, who the heck is this guy? We didn't even know who Clapton was, you know, we were kids, and that opened a whole world of the folk writers, the roots blues artists like Big Bill and Robert Johnson and things that were the originators of those songs. And that's honestly kind of where I hung it up. I couldn't figure out that stuff much more than.
What's funny, because I think in your bio it mentions that the 2 of the big influences were Johnny Cash and Big Bill Broonzy. And I love the fact that those represent such opposite sides of the musical background. You know, Johnny Cash, what a great songwriter and performer and singer and commanding presence. And Big Bill Brunzi, this also commanding presence and amazing guitar player. But I wish I have 3 sisters, right? And they turned me on to like Ian and Sylvia or something, you know, something.
Right.
It wasn't B.B. King and Big Bill Brunzi.
Right.
But
Yeah.
it worked out.
You know, Johnny Cash is the reason I mustered up the nerve to sing. No one was teaching me any of this stuff, really. And my brother, Zach, he never sang, and he was off to college, and I was just 13 years old trying to figure out music. And I figured, well, Johnny Cash, he's not singing. He's just talking, really. And I thought, well, maybe I could do that, you know? Well, my daddy left home when I was 3. That kind of stuff.
That's cool. I've never heard that. Like Johnny Cash gave somebody permission to start. That's cool. I found him intimidating, but you know. And then you spent a lot of time in nature, I imagine, and just being in a beautiful place and out fishing and hanging out, right? Taos is just such a pretty part of the country.
Yeah, I still do, actually. We spend a fair bit of time trying to catch fish and breaking ice on the river about this time of year and such.
Yeah. I was talking with Trevor about, you know, Hilton Head Island, and Hilton Head it's probably got like a dozen golf courses on, you know, just sort of the whole thing is kind of relaxation made manifest. And there's, in a very different way, Taos shares that a little bit. It's kind of a relaxed community in some ways, right?
Yeah, in some ways a little too relaxed.
Yeah.
I think.
It's is it hard to be motivated in your career with the sort of chill vibes of Taos coursing through your veins?
That's part of the reason I kind of try to spend a lot of time in a big city like LA is because the alarm clock goes off a little earlier out there.
Yeah.
And, you know, I figure there's only so many days. So why not try to see the world and make records and such? And you can do that in Taos, but I feel like Taos will always be my hometown and always be there. And I go there more often than you think. I pretty well split time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Max, I'm happy you're here. There's so much more music to play. Let's get back to it. But just your great addition to today's show. So thanks for being here.
Yeah. Thank you, Nick. This is one of the first songs that I ever wrote that I figure was pretty good. And it sort of laid the groundwork in some ways for all the trouble that was to come. We recorded it on my first record, which now is Growing Up. You say that it's never felt like home, but baby, you haven't kicked off your shoes, and you cry that you don't want to feel trapped, but I'm only here to help you lose all your blues. Besides, it's a wonderful town. Wish you'd give it a try, 'cause there's still stars in the sky you've never seen. And if you stay with me, then I could show you what I mean. Do-do-do-da-da-da-da, do-do-do-da-da-da-da, do-do-do-da-da-da-da. Well, you pine for the bright lights that you're missing, and I cast a stone into the sky, and you ask me if I can take this little trip. I can go, baby, any way that the wind can blow. Besides, it's a wonderful city. I could give it try. And there's still stars in the sky I've never seen. And if I go with you, then you could show me what you mean. Do 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 da da da, do 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 da da da, do 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 da da da, la la la. Do 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 da 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 la 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 la. Do 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 da 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 la la la. We're 7 steps in, and this tightrope is thin. If we turn back now, our Fred will hit the ground. Besides, it's a wonderful world. We should give it a try, 'cause there's still stars in the sky we've never seen. And if we don't let go, we could find out what it means. Oh, what it means. What does it mean? Da 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 da. Do do da 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 la la. Thank you.
That's Max Gomez from Taos, New Mexico and Los Angeles. He'll be back later on in the show. And coming up, Trevor Hall.
Your visit to eTown is made possible in part by the Sage Foundation and by the tens of thousands of folks who have subscribed to our YouTube channel. Now, you don't have to subscribe, by the way, to view the thousands of videos that we already have up there. But if you do, you can stay up to date with our latest video offerings. You're listening to eTown.
I'm Nick Forster. I want to say hello to our listeners who are hearing eTown on stations right now, like KHEN, Free Range Radio in Salida, Colorado. Thanks for tuning in. WUGA, 91.7 FM in Athens, Georgia. Thanks for listening. And on KNAU in Flagstaff, Arizona, 88.7 FM. As always, if you want some more information about any of our guests this week, you want to find out how to get tickets to a live show, or learn more about anything having to do with eTown, lots of stuff is on the web at etown.org. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel or our podcasts, and you can find out all kinds of stuff. We are going to get back to music right now. This morning at around 5 o'clock, a robin started flying into my window repeatedly. And I researched it and discovered that it's primarily male robins that are seeing their reflection and deciding to pick fights with themselves to protect their territory. And then a few hours later, I guess I heard this woodpecker sort of just going off on the metal top of our chimney. And I thought, it's nice to know that humans aren't the only ones whose males repeatedly do the wrong thing over and over again for apparently no reason. And I can only imagine some time when those characters will fade away and smart women will, in fact, take over, because it's entirely possible. Right now, would you please help me welcome back to the stage Trevor Hall, along with Jeff Martin.
Being a touring musician, you know, you walk into so many different situations every day. You know, that's your, you know, you never know what mood somebody's going to be in, if somebody's going to be helpful or not helpful, or yeah, it's just it's always such a beautiful feeling to walk into a space and feel that family energy, that community energy above everybody, you know, working so hard to put something like this on. So just really happy to be here, happy to be a part of it, and thanks for having us. Yeah.
Wondering where the end is, if it's even there. All of it's upon me, tell me don't despair. You and I have good love, it's keeping me alright. Am I getting soft or am I holding it too tight? Put it in a song, let it run like wild horse. Let out all my sails, hoping I could get on course. All these lovers loving without anything to do. If you wanna go there, I will go there too. If you wanna go there, I will go there too. See a ghost on my song, is it there? Hoping all the summer rain washed it out my hair. It's only then that I can tightly tie it in a braid. Rolling up a smoke, forgot the ropes, forgot my name. I've been pulling water from deep down inside the well. The days are getting shorter on the border, can you tell? All these lovers loving without anything to do. If you wanna go there, I will go there too. If you wanna go there, I will go there too. Thank you.
Trevor Hall, along with Jeff Martin, playing the bass, keyboards, percussion. The latest CD is called Threads. It's a 4-song EP. Trevor Hall. We've got time for one more song. I want to thank all our guests. I want to thank everybody for being a part of this great show this week. Thanks to Trevor Hall and Jeff Martin doing such a great job. Thanks to the eTones. These are the hardworking house band. Thanks to Helen Forster. It was so good to hear Gaylord Nelson's words again, the late Senator Gaylord Nelson talking about the creation of Earth Day Thanks to Max Gomez. We have one more song, and it's a sing-along. I'm Nick Forster. Hope you can be with us next week right here in eTown.
There's something happening here. What it is ain't exactly clear. There's a man with a gun over there, telling me I've got to beware. Come on, y'all. Stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. There's battle lines being drawn. Nobody's right if everybody's wrong. Young people speaking their minds, getting so much resistance from behind. I think it's time we stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down.
We're just about to wrap this show up, folks, but there was so much good stuff, we decided to turn it into 2 parts. So tune in next week for part 2 of this special show featuring Max Gomez and Trevor Hall.
This is a production of eTown.